All right, everybody, we'll get started. Thanks for being here. Week 2 press conference. Montana travels to North Dakota in Grand Forks this week. The Griz are 1-0, and Coach, we'll start there. Just your final wrap-up thoughts on a nice win for the Grizzlies against Missouri State, and now Montana heads to take on another Missouri Valley team at North Dakota.
Thanks, Tabe. Sure. Obviously, we're happy to be 1-0 after winning a really hard-fought game against a very veteran, determined opponent. So good job by our guys fighting it out and getting that W. And now it's on to play North Dakota on our first road game of the year. And Coach Schweikert does a great job. They're always good up front. They're always fundamentally sound. They do things to keep you off balance. He's been at it a long time. His teams are always ready. This morning I watched their blowout of North Dakota State from last year. That was eye-opening. I thought they played really well last Saturday at Iowa State, and if the ball bounced their way a couple of times, then that outcome might have been different for them. But they played well. I like their defense. They play multiple fronts. They mix it up pretty well. Their linebackers are terrific. Offensively, number one, Bergquist is hard to cover. He's really good with the ball in his hands. The running backs are good, especially 29. I think it's pronounced Zybarth. He's really good. He's quick. Last time we were there was 2018. They beat us, so we know it's a tough place, and we'll have our hands full trying to go in there and get a win.
Questions?
Coach, you mentioned all the guys that played for the first time in college football in the kicking game, but also otherwise. After watching the film back, what further impressions do you have of those guys and their performance Saturday night?
I thought they did a good job. Obviously, we didn't play anywhere near perfectly, but I thought guys did a good job. I thought they were really competitive, and sometimes that made up for some deficiencies, maybe in experience or execution. So played hard. They were determined and played physical, and that's what got us over the top.
Right, now the first one's out of the way, so do you expect a big jump now that these guys have played in a college game before?
I've been doing this long enough. I don't know what to expect.
Been a little while since I've covered North Dakota. They used to run that odd man front a lot, but you said more multiple defensively. Is that the case this year?
Yeah, they're multiple. They do a lot of different things. True odd. Probably not a ton. I mean, that's their game. Ask him. I'd love it if he told you. But, they're going to be multiple front end coverages.
Offensively, they used to be so run heavy, but the last couple of years it seems like, look at the stats, at least they throw it around a lot. So how would you evaluate their offense?
Well, I went back and watched last year's as well. I think they want to throw it if they can some. They aren't just going to say we want to line up and just run it, throw it only when we have to. And again, this would be a better question for Coach, but philosophically watching the film, I'd say they want balance and that they want to be a team that throws the ball well as runs it.
Bobby, they are offensively they outgained ISU in rushing yards. I think they almost had 200 rushing yards. So what stood out as you looked at the film kind of about North Dakota's rushing game, and is that a strength of theirs you see?
Well, they have good running backs. They are persistent with the run game. I didn't want to discount his point because it's not like they aren't going to run it. They've got a pretty expansive scheme in terms of different run plays they can get to. Their offensive line's good, and I think that it was kind of fun watching them play against Iowa State because they held up really well physically.
I think their quarterback was the backup last year. He's kind of getting his shot now. What kind of stands out about his game and the way he played against Iowa State?
I haven't really just I've had a lot of film to get to, offense, defense, special teams in the last 24 hours, so I haven't really evaluated the quarterback.
Ryder, just kind of speak to this last game, right? Kind of taking the field and playing a very game Missouri State team. What was kind of eye-opening about the first game of the year, and what kind of stood out on the defensive side of the ball?
We knew they were going to have good skill guys and good backs. I really liked how our guys came out and competed. obviously our coaches are going to have corrections for us, and we will get those evaluated and get on to North Dakota this week.
A lot of guys on the defense are new to Montana but have previous college experience. What did you maybe learn about this defense in game one?
Yeah, brought in some guys who enjoy playing football. They love the game, and I think they showed that they want to compete and they're going to play really hard. And like I said, we're going to clean up some of those corrections and be better for it.
Then Nick, obviously you're a veteran on this team and you've seen a lot of kind of first games here. So what have you noticed maybe the biggest differences between week 1 and week 2 as you guys maybe now have a game under your belt and kind of have things moving?
Just kind of building with each other and kind of building that connection with each other and knowing how, like for me, like the O-line's going to block people and how they're going to get up to double teams and how fast and like the timing, how that's going to work out. And I think that throughout the season that kind of builds and you kind of get that understanding.
Fritz, what's that shirt?
Fresno Grizzlies. Minor league baseball.
I actually know a guy that owned that team. Really? Yeah, friend of mine. That's cool. All right, back to football. I should have said yet in answer to your conversation. We'll evaluate that. I'll evaluate that kid, but yeah, it's all generalities right now. I'm just kind of watching them.
Bobby, you're talking about the third downs after the game and giving up a lot of third and longs. And then you guys, I think 2 of 9 on third downs yourself, just on both sides of the ball. How can you guys improve that? What do you see can be better to improve those?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of, you got to execute better on both sides of the ball. You got to get the ball on the ground on defense, and you've got to catch the ball when thrown to you on offense. That'd be a good start to solve some of that. That really is where it starts and ends as far as those plays in that game. They made some good plays too, but we got to make plays on the ball and the back end on defense. We can't just be there and let them catch it. You can't get out fought for the ball. And then you saw that towards the end of the game where we were making plays on the ball and it's shut off. So to summarize that kind of rambling answer would be execute better, catch the ball on offense, and make plays on the ball on defense.
And then Ryder on Harris was saying after the game, you thought you guys could do a better job tackling. Just what did you think of the performance? Where do you think how can you guys be better in that area?
Yeah, we're a team that prides ourselves on tackling. Our coaches emphasize tackling, practice it every day. There were definitely times where we lacked in our tackling, and that's going to be improved and something that we continue working on moving forward.
And then Bobby, you were asked after the game about the O-line, and you're talking about the run game and said you thought there were some things you guys could be more aggressive with. I was just wondering what exactly you thought you guys could be more aggressive, less tentative.
Just individual techniques, getting after people a little bit. Guys know their assignments, and we want to be more vertical.
Ryder, I'll throw this one to Bobby too, but it seemed like their quarterback, Clark, really was good going to his right, and it seemed like he went to his right a lot. I was wondering if that seemed like part of their game and how that might show up on film in the future.
We knew he was going to be a good player. He was good on his feet. He was able to make some throws, and sometimes we just didn't put ourselves in the right position to make plays on the ball, and that's going to be something that we improve on moving forward.
And that's correct. Not something that we saw on film in the 4 games he played the start of last season. So that's something that'll be out there for the next team. But, even as much as the last play when he got flushed, he went to his right and there's nobody over there.
And then the play before that, I wondered if that was a reason you stunted.
No,
Harris.
that wasn't part of the plan. Now, if we saw that this week, then that'd be part of it, yeah.
Coach, you talked about Ty Morrison after the game and just his ability to sort of bounce back and be so good after that first one. just talk about him and his sort of recruitment to get here and his ability to win the jobs both as the kicker and the punter during fall camp.
Sure. Winning the job that's pretty simple. I mean, you kick better. We chart every kick and every punt that we do is in a team situation, and he was the best one in training camp. In recruiting him, I saw him we won't ever take a kicker or punter that we don't see in a camp. And I saw him down at San Diego State's camp a year and a half ago. And he sat out last year. He had some schools that were paying attention to him, including us. And he just weighed his decision out and what he was going to do, and he ended up being here. And then there's a third part to that. Good. Yeah, he did a nice job, obviously, on Saturday. That was something excellent by him.
Nick, kind of turning to North Dakota, just what do you know about him? I know you guys haven't probably looked at him a ton yet, but what do you know about him, and what excites you about another challenging game against the Missouri Valley team?
I looked at him a little bit, just watched like the first quarter or so, and noticed that they switch up their fronts quite a bit. And I actually walked into Coach Pavlik's office and watched a couple plays with him, and he was kind of giving me the breakdown of a few of their players. So they look pretty good. They kind of fly around, and they got big dudes up front. So we're excited for another challenge, and hoping to get off to a good start this week.
Similar question for you, Ryder, just the challenge of, taking on another Missouri Valley team, and obviously a team that's shown they can do some things as you guys have. So just what excites you about that, and what do you know about North Dakota?
Yeah, I have some familiarity with them just because they beat my brother last year when he was at NDSU. Yeah, I know they're a good team. They got good skill, and I think it's a great opportunity for us to be able to go and face another quality opponent, another Missouri Valley team, and see where we match up with the rest of the country.
Bobby, I had a question about Ty Morrison too. Just past couple of years, you guys have had some great punters, but they've been specifically punters, not kicking field goals. Why is he able to handle both of those? And then just in general, how hard is it to do both of those in the same game?
Well, the reason he does is he's good at both. Some guys don't do both, I mean, that's the simple answer. I mean, some guys are punters, some guys are kickers. It'd be great to have one guy that could do everything, and Ty's probably one of those guys, even though he's not kicking off for us right now. It'd be great for travel numbers and such. You just bring one guy. Save some seats on the plane for guys that are playing more at positions. But, yeah, he's just good at both.
None of your players have ever been to Grand Forks, right? Am I doing my math right? I guess these guys would know.
These guys would be the oldest.
It was a year before we got here.
Year before, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Grossman's the only
So
one that was on the side.
several guys on your coaching staff, though, have been there. What are the challenges to that arena and just this trip to Grand Forks?
It's an interesting deal for us because playing in a, for us or teams in the Missouri Valley Conference, playing in a dome is not unheard of. If you went to really any other conference probably in the country, playing in a dome would be a foreign thing to those teams that are going in there. But we have 3 schools in our league that have domes. They have 3 schools in their league that have domes. So we've been there. Last year we played 2 at NAU and at Idaho. So I don't know it'll be anything out of the ordinary for our guys. I mean, it's indoors and the football field's the same size. I do think that they will have a nice crowd on Saturday night, and I think that they support well and all that, so you have to manage the noise piece as best you can.
Anybody else? Thanks, guys.
See y'all later.